Well, now let's check on how to invest 1 million in the year 2025. This is a question that I've been asked by one of you guys who is watching me. That's why I always encourage you. Please, if you have a question, put it on the comment section. I will take the question. For the benefit of everyone, I'll make a video out of that question so that we can all benefit. And by the way, if you're watching me for the first time, make sure that you subscribe. Why? Because this is kind of thing that I post each and every day where we come here. And by the way, I talk about 1 million, 2 million, 10, a billion, and then I talk about even hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, whatever that you have is what I come here to share with you on areas that you can be able to invest. Not because I have the monopoly of ideas, but because I have something that I can share. And I also believe that you have something that I can as well learn from. That's why I tell you, go ahead and hit the like button and make sure that you leave a comment on the comment section. Let's get on the business now. Listen, we want to invest this 1 million. And of course, let me be a little bit fair. By the way, let me give you a disclaimer here. If you come, not even a disclaimer, this is like a point to note. If you come across somebody who is purporting to be a financial advisor, you ask them, where can I invest a million? They tell you, oh, just set up a business, do this, do that. That is straightforward what they have told you. Listen, most likely that is a quack. Why? Because they don't even know your identity. You know, there's something called, we have the social identity, your name, where you come from, da 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 da. Okay, there's something called the financial identity. It is good for somebody to know your financial identity, where you are going and where you are going there, and what the period of time and all those kind of things before they start throwing proposals to you. Now, for my sake, I've tried the best as I can to give a case scenario of three individuals: the individual A, the individual B, and the individual C. These are three different people who all of them, they have a billion. He has 1 million, she has 1 million, or he has 1 million. Are we together? Now, the point is, how can these different people invest this money? And probably I've tried to make sure that at least you who is watching this video, you at least fit in one of these people. Let's get to the business now. Let's start with case scenario A. The scenario A, this is an individual who is employed and they have taken a little bit of time to save their cash. And the guy is employed or self-employed. He's actually has a, so that means if he or she is employed, they have a cash flow. Are we together? And of course, they are looking for something to create a passive income. And I want you to note that passive income, not active income. Number three, these people, they're actually targeting at least 10K a month. That's a very important figure. Note that one down. The other thing is that no time for business. Say you are employed, you work from 9 to 5. You may not have the time to run a business and what have you. I usually receive guys who are like this individual and they have 1 million. They're asking me, how can I invest this money? And of course, the other thing about this is that these guys, the ultimate target is to create, let's say, a certain amount of money by a certain period of time. Now, when you have this kind of an individual, or if you are this kind of an individual, at this particular point, this is more of getting towards an investment. Why? They do not have the time to run the business. Number two, they're looking forward for the what? For the passive income. Number three, as we speak right now, they have the cash flow. For example, do you know it would be very indecent? Somebody has come to you as a financial advisor. They have 1 million, and then they're asking you, this is the only money that I have. I do not have anything else. And we're going to see that from the person C. This is the only money that I have. This is 1 million. I do not have a job. I don't have a running business. I do not have an investment. It's the only money. I want to make a life out of this money. I mean, seriously, even if you are an investment banker and you would like to get some cash out of this individual, even if you were to take that 1 million and you give, then you go invest that 1 million will probably give you like, in a month will probably give you like 10,000 to 13,000 in a month. That is the utmost it can go with a logical investment. Now, this guy has kids, this guy did to parents, this guy has a lot of bills. Of course, their bills cannot be paid with 10,000. So probably you may not be able to, maybe unless you tell the guy, hey, you know what, do this. Instead of us risking everything, you just go survive with 750,000, give us the 250,000, we go invest in something. This money is actually be compounding and be giving you something. Then you can try out maybe businesses or something of sort out there so that you can be able to pay your bills as fast as you can. You get what I'm saying? So this individual who has a business, this individual who is employed, who has something that is giving cash flow and what have you, they're looking for passive investment. Then if you have that 1 million, this is what I will tell you. As much as you may not have the time, I always tell people, try your luck. You never know. Just try luck. And if you want to go to the business way, try a business that does not have a lot of moving parts. Okay? Just try a business that doesn't have a lot of moving parts. But if you have that 1 million, what is your affordable loss in that 1 million? Maybe if your affordable loss in that 1 million is 150,000, that is like 15% of that amount of money. You can take it, go engage in a little bit of a riskier thing that will actually earn you a little bit of something. And maybe you can take that money, throw it into something like stocks or shares, throw that money there. And the other thing, you can actually take, let's say, something like 500-ish or 600-ish, take that 600, throw it in something that is a bit stable, like bills or the bonds, and you can combine that in a money market fund. And then the other amount that is left, you can try to get the business way. You can try to be like, you know what, I can buy some goods and resell, I can put some pottery somewhere, or maybe I can set up a small business somewhere. I can, like, just try. Don't fear, just try. That's what I always tell people. You know why? Even if things go south, of which I'm not saying that there is money that is worth losing, but even if things go south, you already have yourself in stocks, you already have some cash in a what do you call them, in a capital preserved investments, like of the bills, the bonds, the MMF, and what have you. So that way you have a combination of variety of things. What I always tell people is that these things that we tend to fear them, they are riskier. For example, businesses. Most of the people, they tend to fear businesses. That's where a little bit of higher returns are coming from. But if you know ultimately you do not have anybody whom you can entrust with your business, of which there are no one whom you can entrust with your business, but at least you can have somebody working under the due diligence, probably you have employed them, then you can get into that investment. Therefore, you can be, or rather that particular business, and try to see and grow. I've seen people who are actually employed and they're running business concurrently, and the businesses are doing good. But do not get into a business that is actually has a lot of moving parts. For example, don't go set a shop or something. Or shop. When I say a shop in Kenya, we mean like general shop, where you're saying it's like a grocery store or convenience store. That one is a bit tricky, because how can you even monitor that the things are moving? But there's some of the businesses that I always tell people, if you're employed, if the course or the career that you pursued, or where you are employed, is something that you can start a business. For example, let's say you are a doctor, you can start a pharmacy. Let's say maybe you are a nurse, you can start maybe a dispensary or a small hospital. You get what I'm saying? Let's say maybe you are a teacher, you can start a daycare. Let's say maybe you are something like sort of a consultancy somewhere, or maybe you're HR or something, you can start a consultancy firm. Let's say you are a lawyer, you can start a firm. Let's say you don't move far from what you know and understand and what you do each and every day, because you can tell even from afar or in absentia that, hey, things are not going good in that particular. Never ever fear. For me, I love businesses because it is the fastest way out of poverty. Even my Bible encourages me to do entrepreneurship. Okay, I hope I made sense out of that. Let's go to the point number 2. This is a case scenario of person B. This is an individual who has a business running as we speak. The business is doing okay. But can be expanded. 3, this guy has an investment running, okay? Or they may not have an investment running. The other thing is that the major focus is the growth of the existing business. You can be approached by somebody telling you, hey, I sell spare parts, and that is my business. I've been to this business for like 10 years or 3 years or 4 years or whatever the period of time, and I've actually managed to, I do have a little bit of investment. Maybe I bought a parcel of land somewhere, or maybe I do have some other business. Maybe I have a car, what do you call them, the Uber business or taxi, online taxi, and what have you. So this guy is asking you, my ultimate focus is to take this business to a different level. Now, you trying to sell the ideas of, I don't know, bees, bones, and what have you, may not really resonate with this individual. And by the way, listen, I have dealt with business people, and the way they reason is different from, say, the employed people. You find this individual, you tell them, take this 1 million, throw it in a money market fund, you'll be getting 10 or 11,000 or 13,000. And then they're like, what? For how long? For like a month. They're like, no. If I get 1 million, throw it or pump it into the existing business that I have, I'm assured of getting 100,000, 80,000, 200,000. And for real, they actually really show you indeed that they can manage to do that. So I always tell people, why not do that? But the only part that I usually sell them is that, hey, you know what? This is a risky affair. Things can go south. As much as you're doing that and you can do that, how about then you do this? Okay, if you come across 1 million, you'll always be risking, let's say 800, and you 200, you throw it in an investment. So that way will be a little bit better, because once you take like everything and you throw it in an investment, or rather you plow back into a business, how about when things go south? Let's say you're running something like social business, like you're running a beauty business, you're running something like where people need to come together, and say another COVID kicks in, and when another COVID kicks in, what do you think will happen? Of course, your business will actually be in problems. I know somebody who actually started a restaurant, with a loan, for your information, and then the COVID kicked in. This guy need to pay back the loan and what have you. Okay, the good thing is that the bank actually understood the guy, and they had to restructure the loan repayment, terms and period and what have you. But anyway, you can just imagine kind of scary how that can be. So anyway, this kind of an individuals, of course, what you do if you have that 1 million, simply take it and pump it back to the business. But I do not advocate you pump all of it into it. At least it's always good to leave what we call a protective layer, sort of an emergency fund or something also. But they came to realize most of the people in businesses, they don't have emergency funds. They just take everything, throw it into a business. I totally understand that businesses survive on vitamin M, that is money, but at the same time, it's good to make sure that at least you have something set aside for the purposes of safeguarding your future. It's good to take a certain fraction of that money, put it in an investment. Yes, we know, me and you, it's not giving you the returns of equivalence to that of business, but at least it's safeguarding that amount of money just in case something happens. You get, these people are investing differently. This one, you've told them, hey, solely get into the investment. This one, you've told them, hey, plow back that money back to the business, because that business of yours has been tested by times that indeed it's a functional business, that if you were to pump in the 1 million that you have, you can actually scale that business, you can expand that business, and of course that means you get better returns. Are we together? But of course, a little fraction of it, get into an investment. A bigger fraction of it, you're getting into what? An investment. A little fraction of it, you're getting into a business. Now you see, those are two different case scenarios. Then we go to the last part here. Well, based on what I have as of now for my purposes of explanation, we have person C. This is an individual who has that savings only, doesn't have anything else, is not employed. They do not have any cash flow as we speak in existence. They have no investments as we speak. Number three, they have a little bit of a business experience. The other thing is that they have quit the job, or they are quitting the job, or something of sort. And the other thing is that these are the individuals whom I was giving as an example. Somebody has approached you. Hey, Joseph. Hey, Kevin. Hey, David. Hey, whoever. I have this 1 million bob that I've saved with me for the last, whatever the period it is, and I'm looking forward to starting my life. Everything as far as my financial life is concerned, it is actually inside this 1 million that I have. It is the only money that I have. So you have to understand this individual. Do you have an existing cash flow? No, they do not have an existing cash flow. Okay. Do you have an existing investment with you? No, I do not have an existing investment with me. Again, do you have an experience with business? Yeah, sure, I tried a business here and there, so I know one or two. Okay, because what we are contemplating by the back of our head is we want to tell, and this guy is telling you this. Yeah, you know what? I have a family. I need to eat. I need to drink. I need to pay my bills and all those kind of. Then of course I need to grow. So we need to play safe and risk at the same time. I don't know whether that makes sense. We need to play safe. Why? Because the heartbeat of this guy lies on that particular money. So we don't want to just go and just throw that money somewhere else. No, no, no. We want to put this money where it's giving us some cash flow that can be able to sustain this guy. And of course, at the same time, we need to take a certain fraction of this money, because I do not advise that you risk all the cash. You can take a certain fraction of this money. For example, you can ask a very quick question. Like, how much do you spend, say, in a month? Say like 50,000 is okay with me. Okay, 50,000. Okay, fine. So how about we safeguard you for the next 6 months? So we take 300,000, we put it, say, in an investment. Excuse me, we put it in an investment. So we already know, just in case a BS happened, we know 6 months we can eat, drink, pay our bills. We have like a whole half of a month of an year to re-strategize just in case something happens. Boom. So when you can fulfill that question, you can be like, okay, when you are starting a business, it is not good to actually just start a business, then immediately you're actually relying on that business. You can cover up yourself for like 3 months. So you take another 50, 50, 50. That is 150,000. Put it again somewhere where that money will actually be catering the what? the food to eat, the drinks and whatever and everything, just to run your normal operation cost. That is 450,000 set aside. We are remaining with 550,000. Then we can contemplate some areas where we can do what? Remember, the 300,000 has already been invested. It's our emergency fund, has already been invested. The 150,000 already has been invested because we don't want to let that money lie idle. And then we are remaining with what? The 550,000. Now we ask ourselves, we go back to what is your experience in terms of the business. Hey, you say, hey, I did this, I understand this, I'm close. And listen, you ask that individual, and I'm not telling you to tell me what you love, because what you love may not what will make you money. Because you can be passionate about something that people are not even interested. You get what I'm saying? So we go to the something, you may not love it, but at least we know that it will actually make you cash. Then we shift our conversation all the way back to business, back to areas where you can be able to invest on that. I know it is risky. I know it comes with a lot of moving parts as far as the business is concerned, because it is you working for money. But for God's sake, we cannot afford not to do it. So we shift to that, and then we strategize on how we can actually start that particular venture. And then I always tell people, the moment you get into a business, get an exit plan from the word go on how you can exit, just in case something happens. So when you have a combination of all these things, then you get into that. This guy is safeguarded, has emergency fund. This guy is actually has some money to work for the next 3 months. So you're not overstretching the business immediately you get into it. Because what I see is that you start a business, then the next month immediately, you're actually asking that business to cater for your services and all those kind of things. And you overstretch that business, you get yourself into a problem. Yo, I hope I have helped you in that particular case scenario of an individual. But you know what? All these case scenario of these three individuals, age matters. Age matters a lot, because you have somebody at 55 years old is asking you that. Probably this guy may not have the time to do the business. And if they were to do the business, of course, you have to look the businesses that doesn't have a lot of moving parts. So also considering your age in this case scenario. For example, you can have somebody at 28 with that 1 million. This guy can try as much because he's still in the age bracket whereby press as many buttons as you can, because you have what we call the luxury of time. So there are a variety of factors that will matter. The nature of your income, the age, location, what you have experience about, and what have you, because that is what will help you to actually take this particular individual to where they are need to go. This is Gate Joseph, as always. If you'd like to get my services in one way or the other, such kind of a case scenario, there are some things that we cannot discuss them on the timeline. Get that particular number, shoot me a call or give me a text, of which I highly recommend that you text me either on my email or my WhatsApp. Then we can talk business for now. So goodbye and see you the next time.